Star Trek, Enterprise introduced Sub-Commander T'Pol, Jolene Blalock, as an observer to Captain Jonathan Archer's, Scott Bakula, initial NX-01 Enterprise missions on behalf of the Vulcan High Command. Following Archer's early successes, T'Pol's resignation from the Vulcan High Command led to a Starfleet commission with the sub-commander rank. Born in 2088, T'Pol was the first Vulcan to serve for an extended period on a human vessel. Along with Captain Archer and Chief Engineer Charles Trip Tucker III, Connor Trenier, T'Pol performed as part of Enterprise's Star Trek, the original series-style command triumvirate. Star Trek, Enterprise was a 22nd-century set prequel that aired for 4 seasons between 2001 and 2005. With Enterprise Season 1 set in the year 2151, T'Pol would have been 63 years old at this time, a relatively young age for a Vulcan. T'Pol served on the United Earth Starship Enterprise for 10 years, between 2151 and 2161. Initially demonstrating a belief that humans were too volatile for deep space exploration, T'Pol overcame her initial presumptions about humanity despite facing opposition and challenges from her Vulcan peers and superiors. T'Pol and the mostly human NX-01 Enterprise crew did much to further the camaraderie and diplomatic relationship between Vulcan and Earth. How old T'Pol is in Star Trek, Enterprise compared to Captain Archer and Trip. T'Pol was initially stationed on Enterprise as a chaperone in exchange for star charts and access to the Vulcan database. Jonathan Archer was born in New York on Earth in 2112 and, at 39, became captain of the NX-01 Enterprise, meaning Star Trek. Enterprise's Captain Archer was 24 years younger than his Vulcan science officer, Sub-Commander T'Pol. However, it's important to note that there is an overall difference in the longevity of humans and Vulcans, with average lifespans at this time in the 22nd century averaging 100 and 200 years, respectively. Sensibly, then, this would suggest that despite her seniority in literal years, T'Pol had not progressed as far through her natural lifespan as Captain Archer had. Frustrated by a perceived deliberate hindering of humanity's progression into space, Captain Archer did not initially appreciate T'Pol's assignment to the Enterprise. Archer's best friend and chief engineer, Trip Tucker, also shared this view. Born in Florida in 2121, Trip was 9 years junior to Captain Archer and 33 years younger than Sub-Commander T'Pol. Forming a close bond over several seasons, Enterprise's 3 most senior officers established a team balance between solid friendship and effective command that steered the early NX-01 amid the stars. A tragic romance slowly formed between T'Pol and Trip over the show's 4 seasons, unfortunately culminating in Trip's demise in the notorious Star Trek, Enterprise finale, How Old T'Pol Would Be If She Appears in Star Trek, Strange New Worlds. Star Trek, Strange New Worlds Season 3 began filming in December 2023. Star Trek, Strange New Worlds first aired in 2022 and follows the adventures of Captain Christopher Pike, Anson Mount, and the young crew of the 23rd century USS Enterprise, NCC 1701, in the run-up to Star Trek, the original series. Occupying a space on Star Trek's multiverse timeline shortly before Captain James T. Kirk's, William Shatner, Enterprise Command, Star Trek, Strange New Worlds is a direct spin-off of Star Trek, Discovery. Captain Pike commanded the USS Enterprise between 2250 and 2265, with Star Trek, Strange New Worlds Season 1 set in 2259. Given these years and the expected Vulcan lifespan, T'Pol would be 171 years old at this time. T'Pol could feasibly still be alive and active during Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, potentially available to visit Captain Pike's Starship Enterprise. Star Trek, Enterprise retcon moments in the franchise's established history, influencing later set shows and characters. Both linguistic masters, Cadet Nyota Uhura, Celia Rose Gooding, idolized Ensign Hoshi Sato, Linda Park, with Star Trek, Enterprise's other officers also occupying spaces of significance in Starfleet history. Having already featured a crossover episode with Star Trek, Lower Decks animated characters crossing into the world of live action, there is clear precedent and space for Jolene Blalock to reprise T'Pol on Star Trek, Strange New Worlds.